Welcome to the Two Marketeers Podcast, where marketing swashbucklers Sean and Lindsay seek to demystify the fascinating world of modern marketing.
Each episode takes listeners on a storytelling adventure that informs, entertains, and inspires marketing enthusiasts of all kinds.
And now, here are your hosts, the two marketeers themselves, Sean Patrick and Lindsay. Wow!
Yeah! Woo! Take the stick!
Hello?
Hi.
Well, we are wrapping up our very first season of the Two Marketeers Podcast, and it has been a freaking year. Lindsay.
Yes.
What is this amazing finale episode all about?
So as we were thinking about wrapping up this season for our big finale, Sean and I decided to talk about our three kind of key takeaways that we feel are most valued for our listeners. So we looked back after launching a podcast, navigating creating a podcast, our businesses, lots of changes. And obviously it's been a year like no other. And if anyone ever says that to me again, I'll scream.
What if they said unprecedented times? What would you do?
I'm going to scream. We are happy to be wrapping up and moving on is all we have to say.
Move on.
So we wanted to take this time to share, as I said, our three key takeaways for you guys from our season 1. But of course, we were so chatty, we couldn't stop talking as per usual.
I don't know what you mean.
We had to cut our season finale into two 30-minute segments, the first of which is all about brand purpose, probably one of our favorite topics. This is the first of two 30-minute segments that we're excited to share with you.
Without further ado, we bring you the first of our two-part season finale. So grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the show, Marketeers. Hello?
It's our final episode.
It's our final episode of the season.
It's a season finale. Season finale. Season finale. Let's rally for the finale.
Wow, you've been working at this all week, haven't you?
Never stop.
Yeah, episode 27, I think. It's really hard to keep up.
Feels like episode 707.
Really? I think the other way around. I'm like, can you believe
Oh, look at my label still on there.
we have more yeah, they don't come off. Lindsay is drinking from her Two Marketeers mug. I'm not, because I somehow lost mine as a person who never leaves the grounds of my house, and that makes it sound like it's big, but I mean the inside and outside.
The grounds of your estate?
Of my estate.
Your estate.
Estate. It's bigger when you say estate.
Welcome to the
Hi,
grounds
Lindsay.
of my estate. Good morning.
Hello, fellow marketeer.
Hello. How are you today?
Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay Biwa, mistress of marketing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean P. Patrick, wise guy extraordinaire.
I think we should stop with the ladies and gentlemen. I know I started it, but that's totally not what you do now.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
Sean,
People of the world, inclusive.
this podcast is canceled.
You haven't done that in a while. You wish.
It means something different than this podcast is over.
People, see, I was going to say ladies and gentlemen, listeners, you need to understand that Lindsay has been known to say that I constantly try and compromise this podcast, where really she just wants it to be canceled.
Yeah, sorry, I do. It's over. We're over.
Okay, this is me walking off screen. Look, I can do this now.
Oh, if I weren't sitting on the floor of my closet with my pants unzipped, I would also walk away.
But you can't.
But I can't. So I'm walking away too.
You're stuck in the closet of your giant estate.
I'm walking down the stairs.
There's the stairs. But Lindsay, it's a bungalow. I don't understand. Just kidding. It's not a bungalow.
I wish it was a bungalow. I can't afford a bungalow. You know how much real estate that is? You know what kind of lot size you're talking about here?
Right. That's a lot of size.
That's
Get it?
a lot of bungalow.
It's a lot.
But ching. Okay, we could call this episode Coffee with Consultants because we're both just chugging coffees as we're getting into. That's what we always wanted.
Stay on screen. F you. I need my coffee.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. You know why I'm sweating? Because Lindsay and I are now video people, right? We're trying. And I have this side lighting, so I turn the lights on in the basement, which is where I work, and my head is very close to the
hot?
ceiling, and I'm doing the egg roll thing, and I'm like, oh, it's really hot.
You need like one of those like tanning light bulbs so you could be like getting a nice glow while you're recording this as well.
Are you saying I need a tan?
Yeah. How would I know? I haven't seen you in person since February of 2020.
It's counting down, people. Lindsay, I sent you that image this morning. I am double vaxxed.
Are you vaxxed and waxed and ready to go?
I'm vaxxed and well, I'm not waxed, but I'm
going to go out in a snowsuit.
Vax number 2. Let's not bring up your onesie ever again. Vax number 2, I did the cocktail, AZ number 1 and Moderna number 2. My arm is slightly aching, but it didn't stop. Like, I could still work out. That shows how mild my workouts are, but.
Oh yeah, because you're so jacked.
Okay, so much has happened since we've last spoken live. And we don't mean like February of last year.
Wasn't that 2 weeks ago? It was only 2 weeks ago. 3 maybe.
No, we talked on the day you called me from the Starbucks pickup.
I was like, I'm back, baby.
And then she said, I gotta go.
Pick up for Lindsay? I'll be
I'll be here. Hang on. Hi, thanks. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I'm just sort of like, okay, though, this is fun.
Is that what I sound like? I'm a chipmunk ordering a coffee. Grande, double shots, 1/2 decaf, light, cold, light, ice, double ice, soy, 2 stevias, 1 syrup, no syrups. See you at the window.
They actually tell her it's ready before she's finished ordering it. Yeah, it's ready, Lindsay. Jeez.
Like a kitchen sink.
Okay, so today I'm going in on screen with a t-shirt I only wear once a year because it's offensive to some.
Tabernacle.
Exactly. Tabernacle.
Why is it
spelled phonetically? Tabernacle.
Tabernacle.
And why am I wearing this? Was that what you're going to ask?
Yes.
Today.
I have to ask now.
Today is June 24th. Fête Nationale.
Official Tabernacle Day?
Yeah. Fête Nationale. I tried for that one. I entered that contest and it didn't win, but it's Fête Nationale, which is more commonly known in Quebec. It's Saint-Jean-Baptiste. Again, a holiday.
Oh, is it official moving day?
No, I think official moving day is July 1st.
Oh, I thought
or the first of the month.
Day was official moving day as well.
It could be too. It's just the fact that all leases in Quebec, especially Montreal, seem to happen on the July 1st to July 1st. So it was crazy when I lived in Montreal. I'd be like, oh my God, you didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, because the streets are filled.
Yeah. So you have narrow streets and there's moving vans and there's no place to park them. So they literally block the streets. So, I mean, hey, that's what makes Montreal cool.
It does.
One-way streets that are too narrow. Anyways.
Great restaurants that you can't get to because of one-way streets that are too narrow.
On moving day. It's June 24th, which is, I would say, Quebec's equivalent of Canada Day. Speculate as you might, if you're from out of country, why that would be. But it's basically a big holiday for them. They now call it Fête Nationale. It's a big day, big party, and celebrates Quebec. And that's why my tabernacle has a little fleur de lis on the bottom there.
And do you wear this once a year, every year on this day?
If I'm not going, now it fits, but
you're not going anywhere.
I wouldn't be going to work with it. Anyways, it's probably the perfect word to celebrate, to show the sort of spirit of, I still call it Saint-Jean-Baptiste. I was going to do some research and I'm like, I'm not. You know what, Lindsay? I'm going to shock you right now.
You don't know anything about it.
I am freestyling today.
That's not good.
Oh. So supportive. What I meant
you could just turn off this episode right now.
I'm going to try it Lindsay's way. I'm just going to show up.
And do nothing. Put on your lipstick and roll.
Right?
That's how I roll.
Let's call this June 24th Lipstick Day in Ontario. What do you think?
Happening National Lipstick Day. Happening.
Thank you. Happening?
Whew. Happening to you. So we are wrapping up season 1 today.
Unbeknownst to us until a week ago.
Turns out you should have seasons.
Right?
Turns out we just made this one.
We just called it.
How do
And
people know the end of this season? Like, there's not like a plot, like with a plot. Podcasts are episodic, right? So there's no like ongoing plot we need to wrap here.
No, but at podcasters like you and I need time to figure out how to make our podcast actually succeed. Oops, did I say that?
That's not true.
We don't need that.
This is a successful podcast with all of the people.
If it's 2025 and you're listening to this successful podcast, you were there the day it was successful.
I'm just going to check our follower list. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, but take us out.
4. Oh, it's 2. 1.
I'm on twice.
Oh, is that you? Are you creating ghost accounts and following
We're working
us?
on it, people. We're working on it. We are less important than ending season 1 is we have to end season 1 if we're going to kick off season 2 with a little bit of
Zhuzh.
A little bit of tabarnak.
We're going to zhuzh it up.
Zhuzh.
We're going to zhuzh the shit out of season 2, so stay tuned. That's our trailer. Ooh, ooh.
It's going to be a season of zhuzh.
Yes, so our plan is to launch season 2 in October of 2021. And by then, we are going to be vaxxed and waxed and ready to go.
Keep raising that waxing.
Yeah, you vax it, you wax it, you get back out at that pool party that you've been missing since, when would have been the last time you would have gone to a pool party? That would have been like 2019 summer.
Well, I have pool parties. Like, as long as there's a pool and there's
you
me and there's a drink.
floating in a pool on a pizza floaty alone with a margarita. I get that is a party, actually.
Come in. Gotta go.
Yeah. Close the lid on this laptop. I'm out of here.
So big news. Lindsay, do you want to share your big news? What's happened in your life? Or do you want to be like totally mysterious and say no?
No, I'm mysterious. Okay. All I'll tell you is that I'm recording from a different closet.
You do the math.
Yeah. I purchased a new closet and now I record from this closet as opposed to recording from my other closet.
Does the closet come with anything?
No.
Okay.
Boxes. I'm literally on the floor of my closet beside moving boxes.
You are ready for celebrity because you're so mysterious. I just let it all out there. Like, I'd be a controversy before I ever got famous.
There's a scarf up there.
Is it your closet?
That's the big thing. This is my closet.
Okay. I like it.
Everyone else can get out because this is my happy place. This box closet is my place.
We had to delay the podcast a little bit because poor Lindsay has a headache, and amazing Lindsay can perform the way she does when she's compromised. But I'm
unwell at the moment.
She sees me drinking my coffee. I'm like, get the darn coffee.
I was like, what is that? Is that a coffee?
Oh, I'm sitting on the floor with a migraine. I'm like, go get the damn coffee because this is not going to go well. So she did.
Here I am, caffeinated. I am getting my second shot tomorrow.
So there's so much to celebrate as we wind down this first season. I've turned a year older. I got some pretty awesome bling.
Is it bonne fête or bonne fête?
Bonne fête. It's two syllables, but actually it's more common for the French to say bon anniversaire.
It's your birth anniversary. Bon anniversaire.
Bon anniversaire, tabarnak. So that was big. It was Father's Day last week. I'm gonna have to adjust this weekend because there's nothing. I'm not getting any gifts, and I've been getting gifts for the last 2 weeks. So with birthday and Father's Day.
What will you do? What are you gonna gift yourself something?
No, I gifted myself.
A new Kitten Ace sweater?
I'm gonna say new kitten. I'm like, I'm not getting a new kitten.
Kitten? No.
Hate kittens. No. Sorry, that was mean.
What?
I'm very allergic.
It's so strong a word.
It is. I know, but I would die. I'm at that point where if I were forced to be in a room with a cat for a long time, I would die.
Oh my.
All right. So I'm freestyling it today. I warn you. So you're leading.
What? No, I'm not, actually. You are. And what are we going to do to commemorate the end of this season? Is it the top 10 things you hate about me? Are we going with that theme?
No.
Yesterday, Sean sends me a text message just to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow. Remember, top 3 things that annoy me about you. And I said, oh, are we doing what annoys us about each other? Let's make it a top 10.
No. That's not what I meant. It was going to be the top 3 things that annoy both of us about you. This is ruined.
Ah.
Anyways,
Okay,
top three. I think we just said top three. Let's figure out. And for me, it's going to be my top three observations, the things that if I underthink it for once, what just, if someone says, what are the three things you take away from what you did or what you talked about? Because we talked about, is it things about ourselves? Is it, for me, it's sort of like three key messages that help our audience understand. What I figured out are like the top three most important things about what we covered in only 27 episodes. A mere 27
in a short
episodes.
27 episodes.
And I think there's 4 or 5 that we've never published. So that's like a mere 117 episodes.
That's right. Okay. What did you learn in a mere 117 episodes that you'd like to share with our listeners?
We're the Two Marketeers. It's always been about digital marketing, specifically in marketing. It's all about branding. Maybe it was the planets aligned this year. It's about branding, and most specifically, it's about brand purpose. So it's a time to really focus in on your brand, no matter what size your company is, and either go back and remember what your purpose was, or if you didn't really have a defined one, figure it out, because it's what you're going to need to get ready and to be ready for whatever's next. Mm-hmm. Good. And it is Lindsay.
Like, you mean when you say whatever's next, you mean like coming out of the pandemic, like specifically, or just in general?
Yeah, like I think it's timely because of the pandemic and what's next. Right. But that's what brand purpose has always been about, to be ready for whatever's next. So I think, there was a catalyst of change. Look, I'm just like, basically, I just reiterate all the brilliant things Lindsay says all year, and then I own them at the end of it. That's mine now.
You're welcome. That's why I didn't prepare, because everything that I've ever said is just going to flow through you.
Wow. That must make you feel good. Is that why I'm so unsuccessful?
Oh!
That burned both of us. I don't know what to say with that.
Top 3 burns.
So, Lindsay, I think we both discovered that our passion in marketing lies specifically in the power of a brand. So it's that idea of like, no, we are all about marketing, but the key to it is to focus. And what we love about it, what we're fascinated is what a brand can do when it's built the right way, and when it does have purpose, and when that purpose is put to use every day by a brand.
Yeah.
Any commentary there? Anything to add, Lindsay?
I think that talking about that was kind of few and far between 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. And it was just a year ago. A year ago. And I think that I think in the work that we've done, we've always tried to, bring that in to the forefront, even if it's like, an email newsletter campaign for a major bank in the US. It's like, what's the purpose of delivering this? What are you trying to do for people? And how do you bring like brand purpose into even the little things that you do? And it's just been so prominent. I think we've talked about it so much this year that I don't think you can ever avoid it anymore, having that lesson be so true, like that it has to be at the heart of everything that you do. And I think it's just been very eye-opening.
It just sounds, when you first said it, it's sort of like, yeah, I get it. But it's just so profoundly applicable, because you were talking about how so much of the work as a marketing strategist was focused on brand. And you were so thrilled because that really was where your passion laid. And with me focusing the aspect of my business on WiseGuy and the smaller businesses, I literally took that and really injected it more and applied it to the process or practice that I use with my smaller business clients. And it was just saying, it seemed to be that sort of bump they had to get over to truly understand the role of their brand and how it can make everything after that have meaning, resonate, be consistent.
Well, because it all ladders up. Like, it's like, you can't just do this one random thing over here. Like, it all has to ladder up in some way, even the small things.
And I think the message there is about take the time now, because it is a good time to do it. If you're too busy and you can't because business is just so good, hey, I would say, yeah, okay. But if really longevity, I know, but they're not,
That's
they're
not
not,
the point.
it's not the audience, right? It's sort of like, it's hard to make a case for brand purpose when a company's, from a sales perspective, is doing incredibly well. It's yes, there are companies that do it right, have done that, but it's not for us to bring them there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, look, if sales
Yeah.
is your way, you're either a marketing organization or you're a sales organization. You could be other things too, but that's the fine line of, if you measure your success primarily in sales, then often marketing is secondary, and that's fine. But if you truly believe that marketing is the way to sustained success
Mhm.
and customer sort of oriented experience, then that's the people that this is absolutely true for, because
Yeah.
they have a willing, it's like talking to someone who's said, who's very unhealthy, who just can't get on the bus, maybe literally, but says, I joined a gym and that's the solution. And it's like, well, if you
Yeah.
don't change the habits, the gym isn't going to fix it. So I'm not here to sell you a gym membership if you have no interest in changing your behavior. So it's that kind
Yeah.
of thinking. So what I like about sort of taking this as a key thing is, whether you're there or not, if it intrigues you, that's definitely the song sheet we are singing from. And it was interesting to kind of think, in all the evolution, it was so clear in almost all of the last, say, 5 to 6 to 7 episodes, it seemed to come up in some way.
Mhm.
Where if anything wasn't executed right, we've talked about some great brands who've done great stuff this year,
Yeah.
but also talked about some missteps in the past. And the idea of being a brand is, with a solid brand purpose, you can correct a misstep. It's merely a misstep. But if you don't have that separation of what I would call, say, church and state, when one
Mhm.
crumbles, when a product or a promotion or something like that, customer experience crumbles, there's no brand to kind of right it, saying, we're sorry this happened.
Right.
We knew better, and now let's fix that.
Yeah.
Which leads me
I
to
know,
my
because I
second.
think, well, when I think that you just look at sale, like an example would be our last Lego example that we were just talking about, or the Barbie example that we talked about a few episodes ago, where it's like, even if brands are doing very well from a sales perspective, it's still the time to reevaluate, reinvest, and still look at your brand purpose, because they say that brands who invest in kind of purpose and brand building exercises during things like a pandemic will come out better in the end. But also, sales aren't just going to magically be good by themselves forever. Like, you still need to be reevaluating that role of the brand in people's lives, so that when you do get to the point of perhaps your sales leveling off, or God forbid, dipping down, then what are you going to do to continue to bring those customers in? And it's going to be because they choose a brand that they love and a brand that they want to support.
Yeah. And I think, based on right now, so many businesses that weren't ready failed, and not
Mhm.
because they didn't, not per se to say they did something wrong. If something horrible happened, something horrible happened and it put to the test, and it's
Yeah.
it was that sort of, well, either brands did or companies did extremely well or extremely poorly. It's like, no, there is a spectrum in between. That's what we hear about. But anyone who is either profited, based on, let's be honest, sheer luck, because let's say you're a mask manufacturer, you have something to do with the supply chain, with anything that has gone through sort of an
Yeah.
incredible growth. Absolutely. So you can look at that as, boy, am I lucky.
But what's next?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
do I
What's
avoid
next for
lucky?
you?
Or I was unlucky. How do I avoid unlucky?
Right.
So yeah, it was great. I actually, funny, I watched a show. It's called Superstore. It's
Oh
one of
yeah.
our sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
binge-worthy sort of, we sit down as a family and watch it. Now my kids have already seen it all, but they
Is
watch
it
it with
funny?
us.
It
It's
seems
really
pretty
good. I
synthetic.
like it. I do like it. It's very, strong characters, strong character development. It literally is awkward. There's aspects of, like, my daughter works in retail. My wife many years ago worked in retail, and they're, in what I'll call discount retail. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Or value retail? And
Yeah.
they're like, for every person and every behavior on that show, there's someone I can attribute it to.
It seems like if the show The Office took place in a Walmart. Like,
It
is
is.
it kind of like that?
It is like that, except it's not that sort of, what do they call that? Mockumentary kind of approach.
Oh, where you're like speaking to the camera and like that kind of view. Okay.
Yeah, but it's great. It's what's her name? America Ferrera.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, so she's the lead character. But anyways, we've been watching it, and last night I think I was thinking, okay, tonight, so I'm actually going to prepare for today's podcast. I just got vaccinated. I'm very delicate.
Yeah, you are a flower. So.
Perhaps I should just chill and Netflix and chill. I don't know. So I watched the episode, and an episode.
Do you know what Netflix and chill is?
Yeah, it's not what that means. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think I do know. That's the problem.
Okay. Yeah. Urban Dictionary that later. Anyways, go on. Yeah. We will not leave the description.
Right.
In the notes.
Right. Because now I've just put a big E on this episode, haven't I?
Yeah. You eat it.
Okay. All right. Because I don't think of other things when I'm Netflix and chilling. I don't think.
Okay.
Anyways.
What's number 2?
No, wait. So I was watching the episode and they're rebranding. So they're in the staff room and they have these announcements of the best scenes, and they're talking about, head office comes in and he says they're rebranding their products from Halo to Super Cloud. And it's so funny because they're saying that to their staff. And I think this is the part that is really eye-opening to us marketers, where we just speak our own language and we're like, oh, well, bottom line is this and the positioning is that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, we're rebranding our products. And someone said, does that mean we're redesigning the store? And so they keep asking these questions. He's like, no. And then he's trying to be all excited about it. Like, we're rebranding. In the end, it's like, I hate to say, it's what a lot of people think the masses believe rebranding is. It's just a new name. So they're all like, so what's so exciting? How annoying. We have to restock all the shelves. So it was this 5-minute scene. I think maybe if we can find it, we should link to it.
Yeah.
This is what the masses know brands to be. And they're not wrong if it's done that way. Right?
Right.
Rebranding is not just about slapping on a crafty name and giving it a visual and be excited about that. And that's what I think people think of. And when you get to the level of branding that we talk about and the purpose behind it, that's where it's not about the rebranding. It's we have reinvented ourselves, or we have redefined, we have reinforced what's important to us. And then everything cascades from there. I used to have a lot of clients in smaller area, I'd say mid-sized business, where they're like, we need a new logo. And I would ask, like, why? Because from my design standpoint, I could do that. And it would just be like, well, they don't have a lot of money. They don't want to put a lot of focus on it. And they've just talked as a leadership team and they want a new logo. And it's, I started just being, what would happen was I'd take the work because I was young and hungry, and then would be, this isn't getting done. Like, this is costing you way too much. You're wasting a lot of my time because you have 9 people sitting at a table, or 4 people, it's small business, 4 people sitting at a table voting on a logo.
Yeah. And
you don't want to listen to the fact of saying, but do you even know what your position is? Do you even understand who your customer is? Yeah, I know. It's it's all ages, everyone.
You don't ever want to turn off anybody.
It's that kind of thinking. So this is where brand purpose isn't where you start. Brand purpose is sort of like you start aiming toward a brand that has a clear purpose. That's a journey. That's a lot of work. And there's a lot of learning and listening. We've talked about learning, listening, testing, research, data that contributes to really pinpointing that purpose within a position. And if you can nail that, you have, the next step is you map that.
Right.
Map it out.
Well,
Lindsay.
That's why they call it visual identity, right? It's like you figure out your identity, your purpose, what your brand is all about, and you reflect that visually in assets like a logo, and in a design system and your colors and how it shows up and creative and all of that. It's not a logo, it's a visual representation of your company and business brand's identity.
But what a lot of people don't realize is they don't have the non-visual identity defined yet.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So were you so sad when you were watching this episode and you were like, no one understands what I do?
Like, it did kind of, I'm just laughing like, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm 52, people. But it's just like, there was a time, and it's like, I remember that struggle where people are like, Lindsay and I worked together at some big companies, and I was always often brought in to kind of lead the visual aspect of it. And then you sat at a table where everyone contributed from a sort of majority wins. And it was just very very disappointing when I realized that I had to teach people what a brand does before we, and so like, and no one, I was like, yeah, just design the logo. Like we all have real jobs. So it brought back a bit of that, but I had to laugh. And it was, as it was happening, I'm like, this is perfect for tomorrow. This is perfect to bring up tomorrow because, for Lindsay and like, I struggle sometimes with my expertise and offering that to smaller businesses because they're like, I don't quite understand what you would do.
They don't see what you do until you do it. And then they're like, yeah.
How much was that? No, just kidding. No, I'm not.
Well worth it.
Number 2.
What's number 2?
It rhymes with gory mooing.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Wow. What a cliffhanger, huh?
I'm hanging from a cliff.
So what does rhyme with gory mooing?
Well, if you've been listening over the last few episodes, I think you know, so go ahead and put it in the comments.
And be sure to tune in for part 2 when Lindsay and I continue our top 3 convo.
And don't forget a rapid fire at the end. That's definitely something worth waiting for.
Have a great day, Marketeers.
This season is so close to over.
That's it for this episode, my fellow Marketeers. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.
If you did, subscribe to this podcast at thetwomarketeers.ca.
That's thetwomarketeers.ca. Spell it out.
Be sure to tune in for more marketing adventures every month from us, the Two Marketeers. But you can just call us Sean and Lindsay.
Actually, I would prefer Wise Guy.
Yeah, I know you would. We're not doing that.